Welcome in everybody to our deep dive into the world of TikTok Shop. It's pretty fascinating stuff. It seems like every day there's a new headline about, TikTok Shop changing the way we shop.
Yeah.
And honestly, I got to admit it's changed my shopping habits a bit too. So we've got tons of research articles and even some firsthand accounts to really get into the nitty-gritty of how TikTok Shop is impacting,
Mm.
us as shoppers and businesses, and really the whole retail world. So
You know what's interesting to me is that
right.
while traditional retail is having kind of a tough time right now, TikTok Shop is actually flourishing.
Mm.
And a lot of that, I think, comes from their ability to really successfully blend entertainment and shopping. They've created this whole new breed of what they call shoppertainment, which is proving to be so effective, especially with the younger generations.
Yeah, that's a great point. I've definitely noticed that myself. Like you're just scrolling through videos, watching people do their thing, and then bam, there's a link to buy that cool new jacket or that gadget they're showing off. You don't even have to switch apps or anything. It's like instant gratification shopping, and it's it's kind of dangerous, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And those shoppable videos and the live streams they're doing are really game changers. Imagine watching someone unbox the latest tech gadget live and being able to buy it right then and there while you're watching. And they've got that in-app checkout too, so there's no friction in the process.
Yeah, and it's not just great for shoppers,
Yeah.
Creators are making money from this too. They partner with the big players like Amazon and Walmart through those affiliate links, so they earn commissions on every sale they drive. It's a pretty sweet deal for everyone involved, really.
It is a really seamless integration, but it kind of brings up a question. How are these businesses creating content that's both entertaining and effective for selling? Well, one of their secrets, I think, is this AI-powered tool they have called Symphony Studio.
Oh yeah, Symphony Studio. Now we're getting to the really interesting stuff. So Symphony Studio is like, it's almost like having an entire marketing team baked right into TikTok.
That's a great way to put it.
It uses AI to help businesses make those super eye-catching ads that just perform well on the platform.
And what I find really clever is that Symphony Studio can analyze trends and suggest content ideas that are going to resonate with TikTok's audience. And it even gives you access to all these stock images, video clips, and even licensed music. So businesses can put together these really high-quality ads pretty quickly.
So like a small business owner who maybe doesn't have a big budget for marketing, they can still create professional-looking ads without needing a whole production crew.
It's like leveling the playing field, giving smaller companies the tools to compete with the big guys. And then you've got the whole live shopping phenomenon, too. It's like the modern version of those old home shopping channels, but with a TikTok twist.
Oh man, those live shopping things they're getting so popular. It's all about tapping into that impulse buy mentality. You get caught up in the excitement of the live event and you end up buying something on the spot.
Exactly. And TikTok is actually encouraging brands to host more and more of these interactive live shopping events. They've even got features like AI-generated scripts to help brands get started, and all sorts of customizable gimmicks to keep things interesting, like live polls, quizzes, even virtual try-on features.
It's all about that FOMO, the fear of missing out, which is a super powerful motivator when it comes to driving sales. I've got to admit, I've been sucked in a few times myself during those live shopping events.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. And speaking of driving sales, do you remember that Brand Palooza campaign that TikTok ran? They partnered with some huge names like Benefit Cosmetics and L'Oreal, offering crazy discounts and exclusive deals.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one. They really went all out, especially around the holidays. Everyone was buzzing about the deals they snagged on TikTok.
And there's a reason for that. They're trying to make TikTok the place to go for online shopping, especially during those peak seasons like Black Friday and Christmas. And the numbers show they're on the right track. Their Black Friday performance was insane. They saw a 213% increase in sales year over year just in early November.
213%. Wow, that's wild. It sounds like they're well on their way to dominating the holiday shopping season. I read somewhere that the UK is predicting record-breaking Christmas sales. Driven by TikTok Shop, it's really taking off.
And that success is reflected in their ad CPM rates as well. Advertisers are willing to pay top dollar to reach TikTok's audience, which is incredibly engaged.
Yeah, it makes sense. High CTMs mean advertisers are seeing TikTok as a prime spot to reach customers. It's a clear sign that they're not just a platform for funny videos anymore. They're a major player in the e-commerce game. But with all this rapid growth, there are bound to be some challenges along the way, right?
Oh, for sure. No platform is without its challenges. And for TikTok Shop, one of the big ones has been regulatory scrutiny, especially in Europe with the EU's Digital Services Act, which is all about online safety and transparency.
Yeah, I can see how a platform growing this fast would need to make sure they're keeping up with regulations and protecting users. What are some of the other challenges they're facing?
Well, building user trust is a big one, and combating fraud. A lot of people are still wary of online marketplaces. They're worried about fake product scams or having their data stolen.
That's understandable. It takes time to build that trust, especially with so many new online shopping platforms popping up all the time.
Absolutely, and TikTok is actively working to address those concerns. They're really emphasizing secure transactions, improving their fraud detection systems,
Yeah.
and trying to be more transparent about how everything works.
So they're acknowledging the challenges and taking steps to create a safer, more trustworthy experience for users. That's good to hear. But where do you think TikTok Shop is headed in the long run? Are they going for global domination?
Well, they are expanding aggressively, that's for sure. They've got their sights set on new markets like Spain and Ireland, trying to replicate the success they've seen in the UK and the US. And one region that seems particularly well suited for their approach is the Middle East.
That's interesting. Why the Middle East specifically?
Well, the Middle East has a large, young, tech-savvy population with high rates of smartphone ownership. And there's a strong cultural affinity for visual storytelling, plus a growing appetite for online shopping. It aligns perfectly with what TikTok does best.
It sounds like a perfect storm of factors, creating a fertile ground for TikTok Shop to thrive.
Yeah, it really does. And they're smart about tailoring their approach to each region's culture. For example, they've run really successful campaigns around Ramadan and Eid, incorporating culturally relevant themes and promotions.
So it's all about understanding the local market and adapting their strategies to resonate with people's values and preferences. But for businesses out there who are watching TikTok Shop's rise, what's the secret sauce? How can they get a piece of the action?
Well, the first step is to establish a strong presence on the platform. That means setting up a dedicated TikTok Shop account and creating content that's both engaging and informative.
So it's not just about throwing up some product photos and calling it a day. They need to think about how to tell their brand's story, showcase their products in a creative way, and really grab the attention of TikTok's audience.
Exactly. And they should definitely be exploring live shopping too. It's such a powerful way to connect with potential customers, answer their questions in real time, and generate excitement around their products.
Yeah, those live interactions can be really powerful. They add a personal touch that you don't get with static product listings.
And they can't forget about data either. TikTok provides really good analytics that allow businesses to track their performance, see what's resonating with people, and adjust their strategies accordingly.
So it's all about being data-driven, constantly experimenting and optimizing to get better results. It sounds like TikTok gives businesses the tools they need, but it's up to them to use those tools effectively.
That's the key. Now, here's something that people often get wrong about TikTok. They think it's only for B2C companies, businesses selling directly to consumers. But that's not true at all. B2B companies can absolutely leverage TikTok Shop to connect with potential clients and build relationships.
I'm curious about that. How can B2B companies, who aren't necessarily selling products directly to individuals, make TikTok Shop work for them?
Well, one really effective approach is to use TikTok to showcase their expertise through educational content like tutorials, case studies, how-to videos, anything that demonstrates their value proposition and positions them as thought leaders in their industry.
So instead of trying to sell a product directly, they're providing valuable information that builds trust with their target audience.
Exactly. And just like B2C companies, B2B brands need to humanize themselves on TikTok, showcasing their company culture, introducing their team, sharing behind-the-scenes glimpses. All of that can make them more relatable and approachable.
Yeah, it's about breaking down that corporate facade, showing the human side of the business, which can be really appealing on a platform like TikTok.
And they shouldn't forget about the power of live demos either, if they have a product or service that lends itself to visual demonstration. TikTok Live is the perfect platform to showcase it and answer questions in real time.
That's a great way to engage potential clients, give them a taste of what their business is all about.
Exactly. And then there's lead generation. TikTok's targeted ad campaigns can help B2B companies reach very specific industries or roles, ensuring that their message gets in front of the right people.
So they can tailor their ads to reach decision makers in their target market. That's huge for B2B companies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to really illustrate how this works in practice, let's dive into some specific examples of how different B2B industries can utilize TikTok Shop effectively.
I'm all ears. Let's hear how they can translate their offerings into engaging content for TikTok.
So let's start with the industrial sector. I imagine a company that makes heavy machinery. They could create these really cool videos showing off their equipment in action, highlighting, the power and precision of their machines in a way that's both informative and visually appealing.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Like those giant machines moving earth-lifting huge objects, all set to some trending TikTok sound. It would be hard to scroll past something like that.
Exactly. And they could target their content to specific industries like construction, mining, manufacturing. They could even host live demos, you know, let potential buyers ask questions and get a virtual tour of the equipment.
It's like bringing the trade show experience right to people's phones. That's pretty cool. What about something a little less tangible, though? Like a software company. How would they approach TikTok Shop?
Software companies have a great opportunity to kind of demystify those complex concepts and showcase their solutions visually. Think animated explainers breaking down their software's features, or case studies showing how it's helped other businesses achieve results.
I can see how those visuals would be key. Instead of reading through long product descriptions, you're actually seeing the software in action, understanding its benefits in a much more engaging way.
Right. And just like those industrial companies, software companies can use TikTok Live for Q&A sessions, maybe with their developers or product managers. Do live product walkthroughs and address any concerns people have.
Yeah, that kind of transparency and accessibility can really build trust. It shows that they're not hiding behind technical jargon. They're willing to engage directly and answer tough questions.
Exactly. Now, what about something like a consulting firm, a company that primarily offers expertise and advice? How do you think they could leverage TikTok Shop?
That's a good question. It's not like they're selling a physical product. So how do they translate their services into something that works on TikTok?
Well, consulting firms can use TikTok to position themselves as thought leaders and trusted advisors. They could share insightful tips on things like business strategy, leadership, development, industry trends, bite-sized pieces of wisdom that people can actually apply to their work.
It's like having a pocket-sized consultant right there on your phone. You get a taste of their expertise and their approach, which could lead to, more in-depth consultations down the line.
Exactly. And they can also use TikTok to highlight their company culture and the people behind the firm. Showcasing their team's expertise and passion can make them seem more relatable and approachable to potential clients.
Right. It's about humanizing the brand, showing that they're not just a bunch of suits in a boardroom. They're real people with real insights who genuinely want to help their clients.
Yeah, exactly. Now, these are just a few examples, but the main point is that any B2B company, no matter what industry they're in, can leverage TikTok Shop if they're strategic about it. It's about understanding how the platform works and using it to your advantage.
So the potential is definitely there. But it's not just about showing up and expecting results. Businesses need to put in the effort to be creative and adapt their strategies to make TikTok work for them.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's often overlooked: the impact that TikTok Shop is having on consumer behavior. Some experts believe it's not just changing how we shop, but also what we buy and how we perceive value.
That's an interesting angle. So beyond the convenience factor, how is TikTok Shop actually shaping our shopping habits and our attitudes towards products?
Well, for one thing, it's really blurring the lines between entertainment and shopping. You're not just browsing products anymore. You're being entertained while you do it. And that entertainment value can make a product seem much more desirable.
Yeah, it's like the difference between reading a product review online and watching a funny unboxing video. The video is way more likely to stick in your mind and make you feel a connection with the product.
Exactly. And TikTok's focus on trends and virality can really influence what we see as must-have items. If you keep seeing a certain product pop up all over your feed, it can create this sense of urgency and desire, even if you didn't even know you wanted it before.
It's that FOMO again, the fear of missing out, which is such a powerful driver of purchasing decisions these days.
It really is. And then there's the potential for increased impulse buying. That seamless checkout process and constant exposure to tempting products can make it much easier to buy things on a whim, without really thinking about whether you need it or can afford it.
It's like having a virtual shopping mall in your pocket that's constantly tempting you with new stuff. It takes a lot of willpower to resist those impulsive urges.
It does, and all of this can have a real impact on our relationship with money and consumption. If we're constantly bombarded with products and encouraged to buy now, think later, it can lead to a cycle of overspending and dissatisfaction.
It's like a fast food approach to shopping, quick, easy, and often regretted later.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
So while TikTok Shop is super convenient and entertaining, It's important to be aware of those potential downsides and develop healthy shopping habits.
Absolutely. It's all about finding that balance between enjoying the platform and staying in control of your spending.
Now let's talk about the future of retail in general. How is TikTok Shop impacting the way we think about shopping and the role of physical stores? Do you think this is the beginning of the end for brick-and-mortar retail?
Well, it's unlikely to completely replace physical stores, but TikTok Shop is definitely accelerating the shift towards online shopping. The convenience, the personalization, the entertainment value, those are all huge draws that traditional retail struggles to match.
Yeah, I get that. Why spend hours fighting crowds at the mall when you can browse and buy from your couch while watching funny videos and getting recommendations from people you trust?
Exactly, and this trend is only going to continue. As TikTok Shop keeps innovating and adding new features, we're going to see more interactive shopping experiences, more personalized recommendations, and even more seamless integration with other services.
It's like the lines between online and offline shopping are getting blurry. You might discover a product on TikTok, then research it online, and then go to a store to actually see it in person before you buy it.
Yeah, it's becoming a multi-channel approach to shopping, which raises a big question for traditional retailers. How do they adapt to this new reality? How do they compete with the convenience and engagement of online platforms like TikTok Shop?
It's a challenge they can't ignore. If they want to stay relevant, they need to evolve, offer a more personalized, interactive, engaging shopping experience.
Exactly. They need to think beyond just putting products on shelves. They need to create experiences that draw people in, provide value beyond just the transaction, and make customers want to come back for more.
It's about building a community offering expert advice, making the shopping experience more enjoyable and memorable.
And technology can play a big role in that. Retailers can use things like augmented reality. Virtual try-on features personalized recommendations, interactive displays to really enhance the in-store experience, and bridge the gap between online and offline shopping.
It's about using technology to enhance, not replace, the human element of shopping, creating a hybrid approach that combines the best of both worlds.
Exactly. Now let's talk about TikTok Shop's global reach and its impact on different cultures and markets. We touched on its success in the Middle East earlier, but its influence extends far beyond that.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear more about that. How is TikTok Shop shaping shopping trends and consumer behavior in different parts of the world? Are there any notable cultural differences in how people are using the platform?
Oh, absolutely. TikTok Shop is a global phenomenon, and its impact varies depending on the region's cultural values, its technological infrastructure, and its existing retail landscape.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. They need to tailor their strategies to each market.
Exactly. For example, in Southeast Asia, where mobile commerce is already huge, TikTok Shop has really integrated seamlessly into the existing shopping culture. It's accelerated the adoption of things like live shopping and influencer marketing.
So they've tapped into an existing trend and amplified it, made it even more accessible and engaging.
Precisely. Now contrast that with a region like Latin America, where traditional retail is still very strong. TikTok Shop is driving a more gradual shift towards online shopping, especially among younger people who are drawn to its entertainment value and the social connections it offers.
So it's both accelerating existing trends and introducing new ways of shopping, depending on the specific characteristics of each market.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see how it plays out in different parts of the world. Now, another region where TikTok Shop is making a big impact is Africa, with its young and rapidly growing population and increasing access to mobile phones. The continent has huge potential for e-commerce growth.
I can see how TikTok Shop's visual format and its focus on mobile would really resonate in Africa, where access to traditional retail might be limited in some areas.
Exactly. It's like bringing the shopping mall experience right to people's fingertips no matter where they live. And TikTok is being very strategic about its expansion in Africa. They're partnering with local creators, businesses, and logistics providers to make sure the platform is tailored to each market's needs.
So they're not just trying to force a one-size-fits-all approach. They're working to understand the local context and build partnerships that benefit everyone involved.
Exactly. Now, while all of this global expansion is exciting, it also brings up some important ethical considerations.
Oh, yeah, for sure. With great power comes great responsibility, as they say. As TikTok Shop grows and its influence expands, what are some of the ethical challenges they need to be mindful of?
One concern is the potential for exploitation of both creators and consumers. As the platform becomes more and more monetized, there's a risk that creators might feel pressured to promote products they don't actually believe in.
Yeah, that's a valid point. TikTok needs to create a fair and transparent environment for creators, make sure they're not being taken advantage of, and that their authenticity is protected.
Absolutely. And on the consumer side, there are concerns about data privacy and the potential for manipulative marketing tactics, especially when targeting vulnerable groups.
It's about finding that balance between offering personalized recommendations and respecting people's right to privacy and informed choices.
Exactly. Another ethical consideration is the impact on local businesses and economies. As TikTok Shop expands globally, it's important to make sure it's not stifling competition or pushing out local businesses.
Right, it needs to coexist with existing retail ecosystems, support small businesses, and contribute to economic development.
Exactly. And finally, there's the whole issue of sustainability and environmental impact. As e-commerce keeps growing, we need to think about things like packaging waste, carbon emissions, and ethical sourcing of products.
Yeah, we can't let TikTok Shop's success come at the cost of the environment or the well-being of the people involved in making and delivering those products.
Absolutely. So we've talked about the global reach of TikTok Shop and the ethical considerations that come with it. Now let's turn our attention to the future of the platform itself. Where do you think it's headed? What new innovations and trends could we expect to see?
That's a great question. What's next for TikTok Shop? What's on the horizon in terms of new features, technology, and consumer behavior?
Well, one area that's ripe for innovation is the integration of augmented reality and virtual reality. Imagine being able to try on clothes virtually or experience a product demo right in your living room.
Wow, that would be a game changer. It would take online shopping to a whole new level.
Exactly. And I think we're going to see much more personalized recommendations powered by AI, using your past purchases, browsing history, and even your interactions on the platform to suggest products you might like.
It's like having a personal shopper who knows you better than you know yourself.
Right. And let's not forget about the power of social commerce and the influence of creators. I think we'll see even tighter integration between TikTok Shop and the creator economy, with creators playing a bigger role in product development, marketing, and even customer service.
It's like the lines between influencer entrepreneur and brand ambassador are blurring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And as the platform evolves, I think we'll see new business models and revenue streams emerge, creating new opportunities for both big brands and small businesses.
So it sounds like the future of TikTok Shop is pretty bright, full of exciting possibilities. But as we navigate this rapidly changing landscape, it's important to stay informed, be adaptable, and prioritize those ethical considerations we talked about.
I agree. The key is to embrace the opportunities while being mindful of the challenges and work together to create a future of commerce that benefits everyone involved.
It's really amazing to see how much TikTok Shop has already changed things. But with all this talk about, algorithms and trends and stuff, it's easy to forget about the human side of it all. What does TikTok Shop really mean for individual creators and small businesses trying to make it out?
That's a great point. For a lot of creators, TikTok Shop isn't just about selling products. It's about building a community around the things they're passionate about, sharing their knowledge, connecting with like-minded people, and turning their creativity into a way to make a living.
Yeah, you see that a lot. These creators who are like experts in their little niche, whether it's fashion or beauty or even something like woodworking, they build these really loyal followings who trust their recommendations.
Right, it's a real shift from the old model, where you had to go through gatekeepers, like big retailers or publishers, to reach an audience. Now, anyone with a smartphone and a good idea can build a business on TikTok Shop.
That's pretty cool. It really levels the playing field and creates opportunities for people. But what about small businesses? How are they using TikTok Shop to compete with the bigger brands out there?
I think small businesses are really good at using TikTok Shop to tell their stories in a way that connects with people. They can showcase their products, highlight what makes them unique, and build a brand personality that stands out.
Yeah, I love seeing those behind-the-scenes glimpses into small businesses on TikTok. You get to meet the owners, see their passion, and it makes you feel good about supporting them.
It creates a sense of authenticity that you don't always get with big corporations.
Yeah.
And because TikTok is so visual and interactive, small businesses can really show off their products in a way that grabs your attention.
It's like a mini commercial, but it doesn't feel like an ad. You just stumble upon it while you're scrolling and you might discover a new brand you love.
Exactly. And the data-driven nature of TikTok Shop gives small businesses a lot of valuable insights. They can see what's working, what's not, and constantly adjust their strategies to reach the right customers.
So it's like having a built-in marketing team.
Pretty much. And as TikTok Shop keeps growing, I think we'll see even more tools and resources available to small businesses, helping them compete on a global scale.
It's exciting to think about what the future holds. But let's take a step back for a second and think about the bigger picture. What does the rise of platforms like TikTok Shop mean for retail as a whole? Are we seeing a fundamental shift in how we shop and consume?
Well, I think it's safe to say we're in the middle of a retail revolution. The old model of brick-and-mortar stores, shopping malls, and all that is being challenged by these online platforms that offer convenience, personalization, and entertainment.
Yeah, my shopping habits have definitely changed. I do more online browsing, I'm more influenced by what I see on social media, and I'm more likely to make impulse buys based on recommendations from creators I follow.
And you're not alone. Consumers today has so many choices. They're overwhelmed with information and marketing messages. They want convenience, they want value, and they want to be entertained. And TikTok Shop delivers on all of that.
And as technology keeps advancing, we're going to see those lines between the physical and digital worlds blur even more. Think interactive shopping experiences, virtual try-on features, AI-powered recommendations, and maybe even AR and VR integrated into shopping.
It's all about creating a seamless, immersive, and engaging experience that meets the needs of today's consumers. The retailers who can adapt and embrace innovation are the ones who will succeed.
TikTok Shop is more than just a shopping platform. It's a cultural phenomenon that's impacting how we consume, connect, and even see the world. And as its influence grows, it's going to be fascinating to watch how it shapes the future.
This deep dive has really highlighted how powerful TikTok Shop is. It's changed shopping into entertainment-empowered individuals and redefined what retail can be.
So as we wrap up this episode, we want you to think about this. TikTok Shop isn't just a platform, it's a reflection of our changing world, a glimpse into the trends that are shaping how we live, connect, and consume.
And whether you're a shopper or a business owner, we encourage you to stay curious, make informed choices, and help shape a future of commerce that's both innovative and ethical.